So today is October 17th. You can see this morning it's frosty. So freezing temps are on the way. Let's get this van winterized. Just as a side note, if you've never used your shower before, there's a weep hole in the bottom of the tubing right by the faucet. So you're going to think it's leaking. It's actually just a weep hole that's supposed to be there. So first step to winterizing, go ahead in your RV, open the freshwater tank drain, and you'll hear the water start to gurgle, and you'll see it. It'll start coming out that freshwater drain valve on the other side. Then you can go ahead, turn on your water pump. You're just going to kind of start working the water out of the system. So I'm not trying to go for totally dry right at this point. I'm just trying to get out the bulk of the water. So just kind of getting the faucets down to sputter and run it kind of like on the hot side and run it on the cold side. Don't forget about your back spray port. Kind of drain the water out of there. Once again, not shooting for totally dry, just shooting for like the bulk of the water to be gone. And you got your low point drains. They're right by your gray water tank drain. Open those, and we'll leave them open right now. We'll go back to the van, and now we'll open a valve. You can hear it gurgling, so it's sucking water. So for our tools required to do our winterizing with air today, we're going to need the air compressor. We'll use this attachment with kind of the rubbery tip on it. We'll also use a blowout plug. This is kind of like, you'll find this usually by sprinkler systems, like this is how you blow out your sprinkler system when winter comes. We'll also use the pressure regulator just to kind of help regulate the pressure. On your air compressor, it would be nice if you can regulate this to 40 psi. There is a adapter you can buy that goes on the end, so you can make it 40 psi, but try not to go over 40 psi. And then we'll also use the antifreeze for RVs. You also need this winterizing kit. You can get these at your local RV store. These are the tubing and the valve in order to be able to pump pink fluid through your system. So I just wanted to open this up. Underneath the TV, under that bench seat, if you unscrew, there's 4 screws that hold it down. This is your truma, your furnace, and your water heater. If you are winterizing and storing, truma does recommend you flip that button on the top to off. Now I'm going to still use the furnace, so I have to leave mine turned on. Looking down, you can see your water lines on the sides there. And if you come over here, you can see, it's back there, pressure release valve. And then you see the yellow valve on it. And you want that out. That'll help drain the water from the tank. That way you know your tank is full of air. So this is the valve in its out position. You want to leave it in this position for the entire winter. It'll keep your tank dry. There's actually another valve. I didn't realize it was here, or a drain. When I plugged the air hose in, underneath the van started squirting air or water out in a different spot. So I kind of missed like the main spray, but you can kind of hear the air hissing out. Somewhere up there's another drain that drains the water tank of the water heater. And then once all the air has run through and got the water out, these are your 2 valves for your water heater. They're located through the door, so you can just pull off those little side doors. Turn those both to off. This way no pink fluid gets in there. Truma recommends just air inside the water tank. And then it's really hard to see, but there is a bypass valve that you will open. So the other 2 valves are off, bypass valve. It kind of makes like a little bridge. Open that one up. All right, so now that that's done, let's reconnect our air hose and let's get our water lines blown out like all the way now to dry. So air hose connected, start with your low point drain. Open one at a time and just let them go until they're basically blowing no water. And then you'll switch to the other one. Keep in mind these steps are going to be like multiple attempts. Like it's not just one and done with this since we're using air. We'll open every drain. We'll open the sink faucet. We'll put it on cold. And then we'll switch over to hot. And we're going to repeat this process. So we're going to go to the kitchen sink, empty it, go to the bathroom, empty those, go to the back spray port, empty that. And then we're going to repeat the process. Back to a low point drain. back to the sink, back to the kitchen or the bathroom faucets and shower, don't forget, and the toilet. Don't forget the toilet. Repeat. Just keep on repeating until it basically blows just straight air, like no drops of water. That way you know your system is totally dry. Having finished this now, I think I would recommend using pink fluid if you want the easiest winterizing, that you know you probably did it right. Because the pink fluid's like one step. You just put the pink fluid in, run it till the pink fluid comes out, and you're done. Air is a little bit more labor intensive, but it fits a little better with my lifestyle with using the van in the wintertime. And finally, after repeated steps, you finally get to the point where it just blows air. No more water blowing, no more sloshing. So looking at this water control area, there's a couple things we can look at. This is a filter housing, so there's a filter in there. Mine's empty now, but you'll need to take your filter out before you winterize. This is your water pump. This is your port that you're going to use to pump in antifreeze. It'll be with the kit that I bought, that I have a picture of. So looking at this, you can see like water pump pulls water from here, or water pump pulls water from the tank up into there. Fresh water comes in through this line, bypasses the heater, just goes straight back, or the pump bypasses that, and then goes out to the van. So I think it is impossible to get the water out of here. So I'm going to pump antifreeze from here through this and into the pump. And some will spill over into this, and then I'll just empty that out. And then I forgot to mention while I'm here, this big valve empties your freshwater tank. So right now it is open to this tube, so it's empty. That's how you would close it. For winter time, you'll leave this valve open. Just leave it open all winter. That way if condensation builds up in there, it'll just drain out on its own. This gray valve is how your pump gets the water up into the system. Close that. So we don't want to be trying to pump air out of there. That'll just kind of mess everything up. So this valve will stay closed while that tank stays empty for winter. So I figure I'll just show my failure, but this was earlier when the van was still had water in it. This was the failed attempt to use air to get water out of the water pump. You can tell just hardly any water was moving. You could hear it sloshing in there. You could just tell right off the bat, this was not going to work, so we'll use pink fluid. So to get that started down there, we'll have to come up here and turn our water pump on. The valve is closed, so it's not pumping nothing yet. You see this little this little gold valve? We'll just open that. You'll see pink fluid starting to suck in. So that should be priming the pump. You can now hear it. You can see it going in there. Let it prime the pump a little bit. And we'll stop that. We probably got enough in there. Alright, and then now you can see I got this disconnected and I got the plug back in pretty tight. So that action we just did right there is what you're going to do if you wanted to use this for your entire RV. So plug that into there, turn the water pump on, then go through and turn on every faucet until pink stuff comes out. So you do faucet, bathroom faucet, shower, toilet, and then the rear sprayer in the back. Just run it till it's pink. And also don't forget to pour a little bit in your toilet to sit on top of that seal, just to keep that seal from drying out. Thor also recommends pouring some of the pink fluid down your drains. I don't think we actually have traps to fill, but there's no harm. So Just taking the excess from the filter housing, pouring the pink stuff down the drains. That's it for winterizing. I hope you guys found this helpful. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.